here on ESPN. An experience on top this week as lefty Parker Bohn III goes for his second straight PBA win. He led the field by over 300 pins this week. But 4 other players also have a shot at the title. Included in that group, Lonnie Waliczek from Wichita, making his first ever televised appearance. Taking a look at today's finals field of 5 in that number 5 spot, Waliczek, he will go up against former Rookie of the Year, the left-hander Ricky Ward. In the number 3 position, a 2-time winner, Steve Jaros. Our second seed, making his 3rd straight TV finals, Jason Couch. On top, gunning for his 19th PBA win, Parker Bohn III. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Ferguson, along with my broadcast partner, Marshall Holman. And due to technical difficulties a couple of weeks ago, we were unable to bring you the championship round of the Chattanooga Open. However, we have that exciting telecast for you this afternoon. And boy, a thrilling event. 5 players today. We do have another non-champion in Lonnie Waliczek going up in that first match against lefty Ricky Ward.
Yeah, and a third-year pro looking for his first title. Waliczek really made a statement making the top 5, and you know, no longer an amateur, now wants to go against the big guys. His first match, he'll have to go against Ricky Ward, and Ward, the tough lefty from Florida, will give him all he can handle.
Ward, of course, past PBA Rookie of the Year. Then in that number 3 spot, Steve Jaros. He's won a couple of PBA titles.
Well, he's won twice, Phil, but he's only won in Edmond, Oklahoma. So can Steve Jaros win elsewhere outside of the great state of Oklahoma? We'll find out later on today.
Then you have a couple of tough lefties on top. Jason Couch in that number 2 position. Boy, it seems like every week Jason Couch is there.
Well, 3rd consecutive week, Jason Couch is in our top 5, looking for his first win of 1999. A little bit disappointed. He's bowled good on the telecast in one of the 2 appearances, but has not made it to the title match and been able to win.
And Marshall, the player on top, Parker Bohn III, dominating. I mean, 18 PBA wins, and next year, of course, almost an automatic in the Hall of Fame at the age of 35 with all those titles.
Well, you're right. And Parker Bohn, he led the tournament by 300, 400 pins in Chattanooga. Very, very dominant from the very, very start of the tournament, and he wants to keep it going. You know, he won in his previous tournament in Austin, Texas. Now here in Chattanooga, he has 1 game for the title and his 19th career PBA victory.
Lonnie Waliczek looking for his first PBA title, his first ever televised appearance. So we'll have to wait and see how he does in front of the lights. And we'll get a quick look at this 28-year-old who really bowled very well in match play. And a couple of nights ago in the final game of match play, fired a 289 to secure that number 5 spot.
And a quality shot for Lonnie Waliczek. And, you know, Lonnie's never made a PBA telecast. He's never won one of our tournaments, but certainly a very, very good amateur career, and didn't look intimidated on that shot.
Ricky Ward from North Fort Myers, Florida. He's won 3 national titles, a couple of regional championships. The lefty's first shot.
Yeah, coming up a little bit light, leaving the 3 and the 9.
Tough spear out the gate.
Well, what makes it difficult, Phil, is that the 9-pin, the sleeper, must have enough power on the ball in order to get all the way into the 3 and then back over to the 9. Can he get it? He does.
Spare to open up the match for Ricky Ward, making his first appearance this year. 5 shows last year, including a win in Albuquerque. 3 third-place finishes and a 5th-place finish. He can crank it up.
3 left-handers on our show today, 2 right-handers. Ricky Ward, 29. I'm a little bit high. Leaves just the 8-pin.
You were watching the players practice a little bit on this television pair. Much difference between the 2?
You know, the lanes actually on the left side looked fairly close. On the right-hand side of the lane, the left lane hooked maybe just a little bit more, but not too much. And talking to Steve Jaros, he said maybe a foot or 2.
A couple of spares for Ward. Now back to Waliczek. And Waliczek told me that really the pressure is off him. I mean, nobody would think that he would win a championship making his first televised appearance. So he doesn't feel a whole lot of pressure, but then again, And the lights are on. Could be a little bit different. Started off with a strike, looking for 2 in a row.
Similar to Ricky Ward in the second frame, a little bit high. Trips the 4-pin out and leaves just the 9 ball, just a little bit high in the pocket. Fortunate to avoid the split.
We watched that final game the other night, 289 against Mike Miller.
They started out with 10 strikes in a row, and I'll tell you, if you have a good reaction on the lanes, it's easy not to be nervous. Waliczek in the pocket, the first 2 shots. Looks to be in pretty good control of himself.
Waliczek, just 28 years old. 3 years out here on tour on the television pair. Averaged 228 over 3 games. High game this week of 289. A low of only 174. Very consistent all week long. Got it out. Sets in the pocket at fast 8.
Yeah, it's the 4 and the 7 when he goes from being 1 pin ahead to now being 1 pin down. On a shot that really looked good, Phil. Ball holds in the pocket, but just drives through a little bit too hard, leaving the 4 and the 7. We take a look at the grip of Lonnie Waliczek. Likes to hook the ball for the strikes. He'll go straighter for the spares.
Able to convert. Bit of a disgusted look on Waliczek's face as Ricky Ward now steps up in the 3rd.
Now Ward, one of the good clutch bowlers on our tour, doesn't seem to ever act nervous. I know he says he does get nervous, but you wouldn't notice it watching him bowl. I'm sure Waliczek wanted to put the heat on him early, just in case Ricky Ward started doing something like that.
Well, that's a power ball. He says as of late, when he makes the show, if he's leading the match, not able to provide that knockout punch.
Just exactly what Ward would like to do once again coming up in the 4th frame as a ball goes high flush into the pocket, takes care of all the pins. He took a re-rack on lane 29, and looks like Waliczek is making some type of notes. I'm not exactly sure what he's writing down right now. Maybe
writing out a Valentine's Day card.
Could be. Solid 6-pin for Ward. Nobody able to get out to the, an early big lead right now as it seesaws back and forth. Ward with the spare here would have 59 in the 3rd and would be 1 pin ahead. Watch the balls. It just creeps up just ever so high, Phil, and the pins just avoid the 6. But at this time, he makes a spare.
So a tight match here in the opening game of the PBA Chattanooga Open. It's Waliczek going up against Ward. More of this match in a minute. Ginkgoba. Sharpen your concentration with Ginkgoba, the natural supplement. Think better. Think Ginkgoba. And by Brunswick. Line up with the perfect lineup from Brunswick. And we're back. And really a close one here to start things off, Marsh.
Yeah, Waliczek in the pocket every frame. Finds himself 1 pin behind Ricky Ward.
4th frame. That's 10 in the pit.
You know that he liked that shot because he actually started walking back with the ball still about 10 feet from the lane. He knows right at this moment, right now, that ball is going to strike. The only thing that could have stood would have been an 8-pin, and he wasn't expecting it. He gets a strike, keeps himself 1 pin down.
Waliczek in the 5th frame working on a strike. A win would qualify him for the 1999 Brunswick World Tournament of Champions.
For a 9-pin lead, and he comes in line. He leaves the 2-pin and the 8-pin, and
again leaves himself a difficult spare, the 2-8.
That's the same spare that Ricky Ward had to faced in the 2nd frame. The 3-9 for the lefty, the 2-8 for the righty. I would think he'll try to hook the ball into the 2 and the 8. He goes with the power, and no problem.
Boy, he looks awfully cool making his first appearance.
Well, he was making his first appearance, but he's certainly bowled in some very, very important amateur tournaments. You know, he was an All-American at Wichita State in '92 and '93. Yeah, he's got a lot of experience, but just not at this particular level.
Ward now in the 5th.
There it is again. It's the 2-8 for Waliczek, and it's the 3-9 for Ward. He shakes his head, kind of in dismay. He's now 1 pin behind. The scores aren't high, but boy, this is very, very close.
Ward trying to pick up the spare. Able to do that, and he is 14-16 in front of the TV lights with a .216 average and 19 appearances. So Ricky's been here a few times, including 5 times last year. Sixth frame, halfway through, and just the 1 pin advantage for Waliczek. Oh, that's a pretty shot. So Ricky Ward strikes in the 6th. Waliczek up in the 6th. The strike here, and would be able to maintain that 1 pin advantage. Oh, that's set in the pocket.
Waliczek coming through in the 6th frame, keeping that 1 pin lead. Now up in the 7th frame, the lane he left the 2 and the 8 on last frame, Phil, has a chance to take that 1 pin lead up to 11. And I really think it's important that he strikes on this shot right here, because I really think that Ricky Ward is going to strike on the next shot. He's come in light a couple times on 30, but I see Ward making the adjustments. Ken Waliczek on 29. He made it, but comes in high, leaves the 3-6-10. And right now, I don't see it so much as nerves as just a matter of a bowler having trouble getting command of the lane. Watches the ball, will cut right through the heart. The 3, the 6, and the 10 are left. Fortunately, the 9 fell out, so there's no sleeper to contend with, but still a difficult spare.
Again, what makes these players out here so very good is that they're able to pick up the spares. Got to pick up the spares, and they've picked up some tough ones early on this afternoon. Waliczek able to get it.
Well, let's see what a...
Waliczek looking down, and we'll be back with more.
The rack, he didn't like what he saw. He wanted another re-rack, but Philly's already taken his 2, so he is stuck shooting at this rack. I mentioned earlier, I really thought with his experience that he'd make a good shot and strike in the 7th frame. Now let's see. All right, that's 0 for 1 for Marshall. But fortunately, it's just the 2 pin for Ricky, and he came in light the last time on this lane. Now he comes in high. Both of these bowlers are mirroring each other, coming in high one frame, coming in light the next. Neither one of them able to really get command of this championship pair, 29 and 30.
Able to pick up the spare. Ricky took off last week. He went home, worked on his game with his coach, Rusty McMillan. It's a major change. He shortened the span on the bowling ball and more control.
And you know, when you make a change in your grip, to change the length of your grip, it may only be 1/8 of an inch, but it feels like a lot to the bowler. So Ricky felt he needed to make a change, and he's done it. Leaves the soft 7 pin on lane 29. That lane he has command of as far as the pocket's concerned, but not able to strike. He'll throw it hard and straight at the 7 pin. Ball coming in just a little bit late. Watch the 4 pin as it lays into the channel, does not come back out to get the 7. And he had a little problem on the foul line there. No foul, but certainly he stuck a little bit and a little awkward, but made the spare.
Waliczek up by 2. Now he was writing down some notes earlier.
Apparently what he's got is he's got the right-hand lane much different than the left-hand lane. He was writing down where he was standing and where he was looking so that he wouldn't forget.
Interesting.
Slow rolling and coming up high, the 3, the 6, the 7, and the 10, and that 2 pin advantage is now a 2 pin deficit plus a difficult split. Ball just coming in too high, never got it far enough to the right. It is a split that can be made. Basically, it's just the baby split, the 3 and the 10, with the 7 pin on the other side. The 6 pin is immaterial. If you make the 3-10, you're going to make the 6.
None of the splits have been converted on television this year.
For Waliczek, he could certainly use this. He's got a hook, and it's 8 out for Lonnie Waliczek. It's 142 in the 8th frame, and now it's a 14-pin advantage for Ricky Ward. And for a veteran like Ward, nice to be given a little break like that, as we see the ball coming right into your living room, going way too far out, does not make the turn back up to the 3-pin. Time to regroup.
With a big hook, if you let up on your speed just a little bit, you could be in trouble.
Boy, you're completely right with that. And Waliczek, the right shot on the left-hand lane, and kicking himself right now, upset with what he did on lane 30, but still knows he's got a chance. Waliczek can shoot 202. Ricky Ward right now working on a 196 pace. This is the way that Waliczek wants to see his ball entering the pocket. And then the reaction, it's about time.
Ward up in the 9th frame. Able to kick them all out.
And the lane that Ricky's been having trouble with, he finds it in the 9th frame. It's as simple as this. If Ricky Ward strikes his first ball on the 10th, gets 7 and a spare, he'll shut out Lonnie Waliczek. Last time on this lane, left the soft 7.
So anything but a strike, and Waliczek still has a shot.
That's correct.
This ball here. Ward up in the 10th frame. High game this week, 269, low of 174.
Well, that's the tough part for Ricky Ward. Now he must get 7 and a spare or better in order to shut out Lonnie Waliczek.
Sometimes it's better to take a long glance at that scoreboard.
Light hit as he mixes the pins up. Comes in a little light off the sideboard. Shakes down the 6-pin and the 10. Very interesting. 6 pins. Right now, if he makes this spare, and it's a difficult one. He's got the 2, the 4, the 7, and the 8. If he makes the spare, he can do no worse than a tie. But really quite an error for Ricky Ward in the 10th frame.
202 with a spare, and then Waliczek with 3 strikes will match that score.
Yeah, he makes a spare like it's easy. Trust me, that's not an easy spare at all. But for Waliczek, he finds himself in a position of having a chance. I've been in those shoes before as we see Ricky Ward making the 3, the 6, 7, and 8. I'm sure that Waliczek felt like he had lost this match and had no chance. All of a sudden, there's new life for him. Let's see how he responds. More speed. And boy, just adjustments were made throughout the entire game. He comes in light, he comes in high. And for Waliczek, he'll take away some very, very valuable experience, but it'll be no better than 5th.
So Waliczek said his goal was to make the show. Now he's done that, and he will finish 5th. As Ricky Ward and Waliczek with the handshake. So it's going to be Ricky Ward going up against Steve Jaros in our 2nd match here in the Chattanooga Open. Nice to have you by. We'll be back with that match in a minute. Reminder, you can keep up with the pros and all the goings-on the PBA Tour by checking out the PBA online at www.pbatour.com. Get all the latest news, stats, tournament results, and updates. We're ready now for our 2nd match. Lefty Ricky Ward taking on our number 3 seed qualifier, Steve Jaros.
Okay, and here we are with Ricky Ward. First up on lane 29, match number 2. And a great break. Ball coming in very, very high. Fortunate, he knows it. Got away with 1.
So Ricky Ward.
This ball was just high off his hand, but there goes the 6-pin, there goes the 10-pin, and there goes happiness.
Look at Steve Jaros, first shot, 2nd match.
A bowler that looked very, very good in practice, and someone who's really been very consistent over the last few years, makes a lot of telecasts, makes a lot of top 24s, but has not won as often as I think his talent would dictate. Just two titles.
16 years on tour. Average 239 on this television pair with a high game of 279 this week.
Hurry back. That's the hit that'll win you a lot of tournaments. as June, his lovely wife, who is pregnant with twins. Watch the 6 pin as it just taps out the 10. It's that kind of hit right there going to win you lots of tournaments. And right now for Ricky Ward, down by 10 pins, early pressure. And all sorts of problems with lane 30. Boy, he came in light a few times the last game on lane 30, came in high once on lane 30. It's Steve Jaros and 3 left-handed bowlers right now. So if there's a problem on the left-hand side, it could bode well for Jaros. Oh, great cover as he makes the 1, the 3, the 6, and the 7. Keeps himself only 10 pins down. Picks up another ball. As you take a look, the ball is just a little bit to the right of the head pin. Sends it over into the 7. Great cover, and with a brand new ball, a switch of equipment, a tap out of the 7 pin.
So Ricky Ward picks up the split, comes back with a strike here in the 3rd frame, and Steve Jaros once again, his wife June pregnant with twins, so he needs a win badly. You know, formula and diapers, all that stuff. You got to win.
He's trying, I guarantee you right now.
2 at one time. Oh my. Brings it back. Oh, is that pretty?
June appreciates that. And Jaros really has done the bulk of his quality bowling. You alluded to earlier, he's a 16-year pro. He's done his best bowling in the last 5 to 7 years.
Made nearly 80,000 last year on tour. This year he's bowled 120 games, averaged about 218. Very consistent player. Again, Marshall, you talked about Steve making a lot of top 24s, cashing week in and week out. It's making the top 5 and then winning the title. That could be a problem for Steve at times in this. Oh, I saw that 8-pin standing.
Well, he's not having any problems right now. For Steve Jaros, Steve is certainly in command of this pair. Ricky Ward is going to have to make a good adjustment on the right-hand lane if he expects to contend. We'll come back for the rest of this.
Yeah, got a lot of bowling on ESPN. The PBA Tour has established a bowling instructional and educational program called PBA Tour University. World-class bowling instructor Freddie Borden joins PBA members and other top coaches, utilizing classroom learning, video analysis, on-lane instruction, and personalized equipment consultation. For more information, contact the PBA at 330-836-5568. And when you talk about Freddie Borden, he is quite a teacher.
He certainly is a great motivator, and as far as equipment is concerned, I said that Ricky changed balls. He's actually using a very similar ball, just a fresher surface, not helping him on lane 30, unfortunately, for Ricky.
When you're talking about a fresher surface, what does that do exactly when the ball hits the lane?
It enables the ball to go longer through the front end of the lane before it starts making the hook back toward the pocket. Important to pick up the spare. Still not out of this game, although Steve Jaros showing absolutely nothing but perfection as he has 4 strikes in a row through 4 frames.
Ward won the opening match over Lonnie Waliczek 202 to 170, and Ricky Ward now down by 30, but he weathered the storm in the first match, picking up a lot of spares here in the second match. He's picked up a split and another spare, so he wants to get it going here.
The difference is Waliczek wasn't throwing lots of strikes. And again, the ball comes up light, punches a hole. There's the 1 and the 3, the 4, the 6, and the 7. 2 ways to make this spare fill. You can either go to the right-hand side of the head pin and drive the head pin into the 4 and 7, or you can actually throw the ball hard and straight, fit the ball between the 1 and the 4, and make it that way. So we'll see what his choice is. He's going to the right side of it, and he makes it. What a great spare. It's a spare clinic from Ricky Ward. Doesn't he look nervous?
Beautiful shot.
Well, we'll see it again. He goes to the right-hand side of the head pin, throws it into the 4 and the 7, and I'm telling you, this is fun to watch. Very, very cool and nonchalant about it.
Jaros with the first 4.
Will it be 5?
Well, he lofted it out of the lane a little bit, maybe to delay the hook and really snap back, and he has thrown 5 picture-perfect strikes here in match 2.
Ricky Ward talking with his ball rep right now, trying to figure out something to try and put up a little offense against Jaros. Right now, he's making lots of spares, lots of tough ones, but And Ward's got 75 in the fourth. Jaros, he's perfect right now. And he has a 45-pin lead after 5 frames. Will it be 55? We shall see.
Oh, and an extra $10,000. Should a player throw a 300 game, $25,000 in the title match. So stick around for that. For the first 6 for Steve Jaros. Let me ask you, with Ricky Ward and Marshall, a couple of lefties still to go. Jason Couch, Parker Bohn. Are they worried at all? Looking at the problems maybe that Ricky's having? I know everybody throws the ball differently.
Well, I would think they would be. There's the 3 and the 6 coming in a little light once again on lane 30. Just really having problems. He's changed balls. He's changed his line of the lane a little bit for Jason Couch and Parker Bohn. If I was them, I'd be concerned right now, especially maybe not so much with the struggling of Ricky Ward, but with the command of Jaros right now with 6 strikes in a row. And not just striking, but doing it convincingly with flush hits. Very good shots.
7th frame for Ricky Ward. He leads by 47.
233, the best Ricky Ward can do. Will it fall? Make it 222, the best Ricky Ward can do. Well, gets the messenger or the bird dog coming back toward that 7 pin. Not going to happen. He makes the spare. But, Ricky Ward, he's got 2 strikes and 5 spares and a big deficit to Steve Jaros.
We're going to stay with you. We're not going to take a commercial break because Jaros has the first 6 in a row.
That's got a hold. Oh, my God, he's got room. That ball with a good 3 boards left off his hand, Phil, and it did hold the pocket. And you see him smiling? He's going, yeah, wow, that's right. I'd say wow right now, too. You just got no chance. I mean, Jaros not only making good shots and striking, but also has the reaction to be able to miss a little bit, especially left. Yeah, 3 boards. That's how many he's got easily.
June Jaros looks on.
Hurry back. That's 8 in a row for Steve Jaros.
He is cooking here in Chattanooga.
And the pros would say for Steve right now, you got the whole lane. June pleased with that 8th one. You bet $10,000. That'd go a long way to helping out the Twins.
Talk about Chattanooga choo-choo. I tell you what, ride the train at Steve Jaros right now. Is Ricky Ward.
Well, he made a great shot. He leaves the 7th pin, and Ricky knows he's nothing but a supporting member of the cast right now. It's Jaros' show. And what a comfortable position to be sitting there with the front 8 strikes while knowing that you've got room on the lanes. Oh my gosh. Finally, it makes what looks like the perfect shot. The ball drives past the 8 pin. It's a solid 8. The ball just goes right past the 8 pin. Nothing goes over and interferes or touches it. Easy spare.
Well, he loves to fish, does Ricky Ward, but right now Steve Jaros just railing him in. 9th frame for Jaros. If you just joined us, nice to have you by. Phil Ferguson along with my partner Marshall Holman, but Jaros now the first 8.
And we'll just watch and enjoy as we see him go for the 9th one. Oh my gosh, he wasn't sure of that shot until they all fell over, Phil. That ball was hanging and hanging and hanging and just barely getting back up to the pocket. Watch, right now he's got to be saying, please hook a little bit. Tickles him over. 9 in a row. 3 more for $10,000.
We only had 1 300 game all week. Roger Bowker made a telecast a couple of weeks ago. The first 9. Jaros up in the 10th.
Oh, that's his good lane, too. On lane 30, a couple shots, a little bit high, a couple shots, so maybe just one shot a little light. On 29, he's looked very, very solid. Could it be a 300 on our telecast today?
Last time, I believe Parker Bohn, Jaros with that checkered flag, racing home here.
It was Parker in Reno last year.
10 in a row. Got it out, got to hurry.
And June's going wild. That's right. One more, Steve. Come on, you can do it.
Hope she doesn't have the twins here. All right.
One more strike for what I would believe would be the 13th 300 game on national television.
Interesting, too, because fans in the past would be dead quiet right now, but they are hooting and hollering for Jaros, who needs this one for a 300.
Takes a deep breath, and let's just watch.
He got it!
There it is! $10,000 for Steve Jaros.
13,300 on the telecast.
And everybody's on their feet right now, including Phil and myself. A hug from wife June.
Extra $10,000 courtesy of the PBA, but Steve still has another match or two to go. But getting hugs from Parker Bohn, our tournament leader.
Here's the last shot he threw. It's coming in a little light. The power knocks him down the 5, into the 7.
Oh,
and a great reaction.
It's not a choo-choo train, it's a freight train.
Well, we've got everybody excited. Jason Couch comes out and congratulates Steve Jaros. He'll be bowling him coming up next. And, of course, Parker Bohn he came here.
And we are going to come back in just a minute with that check presentation of $10,000. Stay with us, Steve Jaros, a 300. He's still cheering because Steve Jaros threw a 300 game just moments ago, and on the floor is my partner, Marshall Holman. Marsh?
All right, thank you very much. I'm here with Melvin Gillum, the manager here at Brainerd Bowl, and a little bit of a check for Steve Jaros.
Just a little one. Steve, on behalf of Holiday Bowl, City of Chattanooga, and the PBA, here's a bonus check for $10,000 for your 300.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Pleasure. Well, I think crossing last week with you inspired me, Marshall. I don't know. You were there when I struggled a little bit with Carrie at the beginning last week, and we kind of talked that everything seems to come around, and it's really come around so far.
Well, congratulations, but don't you have a little more work to do?
Got a lot more work to do. That's just one game left in the tournament that I don't have to bowl, and I've still got 2 great opponents to get through, so I got to stay focused.
All right. Well, Steve, you've got Jason Couch coming up in a moment. Now back up to you, Phil.
Congratulations to Steve Jaros on his perfect game. However, to make it a perfect day, still going to have to get through a couple more matches for the title. Just a reminder that the PBA Tour will return here to ESPN this fall on Wednesday night starting October 6th. So mark it down and join us this fall for some exciting PBA action. Now here's my partner Marshall Holman with another Score More with Brunswick tip. This week, Marshall talks about backing up your game.
What you just saw Dawn throw was a backup ball, and that's a topic I'm going to discuss on this week's Score More with Brunswick tip. Now, Dawn's overall approach looks pretty good, but watch as it has a very weak hand position and gets a clockwise spin on the ball without much power. Now, I'm going to release the ball with a thumb coming out early in a counterclockwise motion, the right kind of lift, the right kind of power, certainly producing a lot more strikes. Now in the profile view, remember, it's not so much a matter of strength, but getting yourself in a position to put the right counterclockwise spin on the ball. Jack Jurek here, you'll see, getting to the line, very good approach, good results. As we saw Dawn throw the ball, her ball is rotating in a clockwise motion, going from left to right. That imparts the spin for the backup ball. What she needs to do is have the ball going in a counterclockwise motion to spin the ball from the right to the left for the right-handed bowlers. That'll give you more power and certainly will improve your scores. Here are 3 things to remember. The thumb clears and the fingers roll up the back of the ball in a counterclockwise motion. When you throw the ball, you want to feel as if you're shaking hands at delivery. And 3, the face of the elbow actually turns to the right as you're releasing the ball. I'd like to thank Stacy Carbacci of Parkland, Florida, for sending in the suggestion for the backup tip via the PBA website.
Well, the PBA is proud to sponsor bowling's richest scholarship event for youth bowlers, the American Scholarship Tournament. Information about the event can be found on the PBA's website at www.pbatour.com or by calling toll-free 1-888-BOWL-AST. Oh, could be some more excitement coming up, no doubt about it. Steve Jaros will now take on Jason Couch. Back in a minute. Will take on Jason Couch, both players. A little practice in before the semifinal match. And Marshall, I mean, who's the favorite here in this match?
Well, I'm watching Jason Couch, and he looks like he's having a little bit of trouble on lane 30. This is his last warm-up ball. This shot could go a long way to what will happen in his game today. As far as Jaros is concerned, you know, it's definitely good news to shoot 300, but it can take a little bit of energy out of you. We'll see if the experienced Jaros can forget about the elation of the 300 game and get back to business. But to answer your question, I like Jaros.
Has finished 7th place last week in Austin. This will be his best finish of the year, no matter how many places here on the television show.
Solid 9. What a great shot. I think right now he's saying, I'm glad that happened in the first frame of this game and not the last shot of the last one. That was excellent, but only 9.
Extra payday for Jaros, $10,000, courtesy of the PBA. Picks up the single pin spare. Jason Couch, 3rd straight television appearance.
And he had a terrible show in Dallas when he bowled. He bowled really good last week.
Tough break to start for both players.
And the soft 7-pin for Jason Couch. Watch the 4-pin, second from the left. It knocks into it, but he's trying, but he's not going to be able to get it down. And he misses the 7-pin.
Looks like he's stuck a little bit.
You're bowling against a guy who's been so hot, and then he misses that one. Boy. Has to regroup.
Come on, good shot.
$10,000 from Holiday Bowl for that 300 game from Jaros. I apologize. I said the PBA. Boy.
Already?
Misses the 7-pin. Comes in just a little bit high. And now he leaves himself all sorts of problems. He got the baby split, the 2 and the 7, with the 4, with the 6 and the 10.
What's the best way to go with this one?
Well, need to put the ball just to the left-hand side of the 2-pin and knock the 2-pin into the 6 and the 10.
Well, gave it a shot, but open frame for Couch. 2 open frames to start this match as he missed the 7-pin and fails to convert the splits. So 16 through 2 frames. Jaros, after a 300 game, starts off this match with a spare. He's up in the 2nd frame.
And a huge break as he strikes in the 2nd frame for Jaros. Jaros with 20 in the first. Couch with 16 in the second. 24-pin lead right now for Steve Jaros, and for Jason Couch, he needs to get it going.
A couple of second-place finishes for Jaros last year. He has thrown 14 shots in the pocket.
Oh, he's really sharp today, and certainly all the nerves are gone. The 300 game is over. I think it was a good thing for him to leave that 9-pin in the first frame to sort of bring him back to earth and
get him focused back on the match.
And it's always nice to be sitting in your chair while your opposition is struggling a little bit.
Able to mix him up. Couch with a strike in the 3rd. Jason averaged 230 on this TV pair this week.
And Jason, a better bowler mentally than he used to be. Boy, if he got off to a bad start, it was very difficult for him to make a comeback. But today, he's keeping himself calm, even though he's off to a open strike start. Boy, this would go a long way to helping his confidence with a strike on 29 and a solid 7.
Couch needs to pick up the spare. Missed the 7-pin earlier. And he picks up the spare. Impressive statistics, average leaders.
Well, Jason Couch, you see him with second behind Roger Bowker, Pete Weber up there. Walter Ray Williams, he's up there in fourth, but we're not seeing him when it comes to the telecast day.
A lot of people saying, where's Walter Ray this year? But he's averaging 224.5.
He's still he's bowling solid, but he's not quite getting to the to our telecast. Nobody's throwing a pity party for Walter. He'll figure out a way. He'll be here soon.
Jaros working on a double up in the 4th. He's put on a clinic.
Well, he looked good in practice. He looks better on our telecast, and the way that his ball is going into the pocket. Watch as it comes down right towards us. Now look at the 6-pin as it knocks into the 10. That's what the players are looking for. On the right-hand side, can I make the 6 attack that 10? On the left-hand side, can I make the 4 get in the way of the 7-pin? That's where you get your extra strikes.
Jaros, a couple of national titles, 15 regional titles.
And a 54-pin lead after 5 frames.
Jason Couch, a couple of opens to start this match. A strike, spare.
And what could have been 3 in a row had the 7-pin have cooperated in the 4th frame, but it didn't. It's 56 in the 4th for Jason.
And Jason has won 5 titles. His 5 titles all coming from that #1 position.
And if he can figure out some way to keep it going, Jason can still shoot 236 if he strikes out. I mean, that's a lot of strikes. It's a tall order, but could be necessary. You heard him ask for it. Still in the match. Ball coming in light. Right now he's asking for it to carry. He gets his wish. Jaros working at a 220 pace right now with a strike here up to a 230 pace. And now the situation is if Jaros can just keep good count and continue to mark. As I said earlier, the best Couch can do is 236. Jaros working at a 239 pace, and a great shot right here.
Well, Jaros again, 300 game, goes into the record book. He was in the record book before with the lowest game on national TV with a 129, so even it out a bit.
I would say so. I would certainly take the 129 if I could back it up with 300 somewhere down the line.
You just talked about it, Marshall. I mean, if Couch keeps striking, and this very well could be an open frame for Jaros.
And Jaros said he threw that ball a little bit firm. The ball hung a little further down the lane, didn't make the move early enough. He'll just go for 1. If it bounces out, well, that'd be a big bonus. It doesn't. It's an open frame for Jaros, and that lead has gone down quite a bit.
And Jason down 40 here in the semifinal match to Steve Jaros. Parker Bohn on top.
And go Jason Couch for his 3rd strike in a row. Really needed that to have any chance. Thought the ball was going to hook back.
Come on.
He's down 42 pins.
He's bowled so well. 3 straight shows, and that is very difficult.
Well, it's difficult to have that consistency from week to week. As fair, we saw Ricky Ward shoot out a couple of times on that lane. He makes that. Now it's a 214 possible for Couch. Down 42 pins, and he's going to need more help from Steve Jaros if he has any chance to go against his friend and roommate Parker Bohn III in the title match.
8th frame.
He's still focused, Phil. Ball coming from the left-hand side of the lane, charging hard into the pocket. Takes care of all of them with ease. They start chanting for Steve Jaros.
Another beautiful shot from off the hand of Steve Jaros.
You know, you shoot a 300 game and you pick up some fans, and Steve picked up, I know he picked up a lot of them out there watching, and certainly the bulk of them in here.
A couple of years ago, Steve's best year out on tour, earned nearly $100,000 right now. Up 42 in the 9th frame. Parker Bohn, our tournament leader. Bohn trying to make it back-to-back PBA championships.
And almost the 7-10 again. He puts up his arms and says, oh, okay. That's all right. Not quite getting the same action as he throws the ball down the lane. The carry is not there. The ball is going just a little bit longer. Lanes are changing a little bit. And that could certainly bode well if he does make it through this game for Parker Bohn's chances of maybe winning his 2nd in a row.
Well, Couch can strike out for 214.
And if he does, he'll force Jaros to at least show up in the 10th frame. He can't make the ball hook back on 30. Very disappointing. That's a little, I know it's a sarcastic laugh. I've been in those shoes. It's not fun. It's nice to get here. It's nice to make the telecast. But boy, you want to convert and win. And for Jason Couch, it's 3 great weeks and 3 frustrating weeks as well.
He has bowled so well to get to the telecast. And he said the lanes were different for him this week than last week, and that shows a lot. He played out last week, playing a little more inside this week. But he's heading outside now. It's been kind of chilly for Jason Couch. So Steve Jaros knows now he's got that 300 game in his back pocket, along with that $10,000 check. Courtesy of Holiday Bowl.
And he will win the semifinal match. There's really nothing that Jason can do right now except to take a credible finish. Disappointing, but 194 is the best that Couch can do. Jaros right now, even if he doesn't show up in the 10th frame, has 196 in the bank.
Couch finishing out the game. We're getting it out there. It's coming back, and almost another 7-10, but just the 10-pin standing. That's 193 for Jason Couch. And Jaros already a winner.
Well, right now for Jaros, just a matter of keeping his concentration. He's got a few extra shots here to throw. Kind of like getting free warm-up, Phil. Maybe not quite as exciting as our last game, but very exciting for Jaros and certainly his wife June right now. Very pumped up and looking forward to the title match and the opportunity to win title number 3. And really, as June watches, a great opportunity with Steve being locked in And so far, we haven't seen the lefties have much on our championship pair, 29 and 30. The advantage has got to go to Steve.
Jaros, he won in 91 and 93, so he hasn't won for a while. This is the first visit to the city of Chattanooga and the National Tour's first trip to the state of Tennessee for quite a while, since 1965. As Jaros strikes out, Jaros with 236. He is a winner over Jason Couch's 193. So it's going to be the righty Jaros against the lefty Parker Bohn after this. Ricky Ward defeated Lonnie Waliczek 202 to 170 in match one. Jaros can't do any better than that. 300 to 200 over Ward, and then Jaros beating Jason Couch 236 to 193. Now we're ready for our title match in just a couple of minutes, and that will be Parker Bohn, our tournament leader, going up against Steve Jaros. Marshall?
Let's take a look at some of the other finishers in sixth place. Mike Miller, you know, he won a couple weeks ago in Dallas, and he certainly wants to send a happy Valentine's Day to his daughter Adrian. Mike Albee, 26th-time PBA champion and certainly one of the best, Hall of Famer. In eighth place, Chris Barnes. He finished second a couple of weeks ago. And Tim Chris, he took home his fourth title last year in Richland, Washington. Dave DeEntremont, Double D, you know, he was having some problems, but he's making a strong comeback, bowling well again. And Sean Quinn, the second-year pro, making consecutive match play appearances. Mark Wasabi, a part-time player who's planning to bowl more this year. Jeff Lizzie, the owner of one PBA title, his third match play appearance of the year. Danny Wiseman, the man who, when he does make it to the telecast, always seems to win. And Robert Smith, he made 3 shows with a high of second last year as a rookie, and he's bowling well again this year. Darren Wong, he's made a very good finish this year, making his first match play appearance. And Norm Duke, 16 career titles. Norm in 17th place. That's a little low for the Dukester, but looking to make it a little better next week. And speaking of Erie's own Bob Learn finishing in 18th place. He's Mr. 300. Kurt Pilon, second-year pro, his first check of the year. Dave Wadka, he was second in the Don Carter Classic a couple weeks ago, still looking for title number 1. And Mike Triniski bowling in his first full year on tour. Justin Romick, he's the winner of 3 PBA titles, including the 94 U.S. Open. And Mike Edwards, the only PBA player inducted in the American Indian Sports Hall of Fame. Roger Bowker, he won his 5th title in the 1998 Columbia 300. And Dale Eagle, he just won his 3rd senior tournament title just a couple of weeks ago in Lakewood, California.
And we are just about set for the title match. And during the practice warm-up, Parker couldn't find much on the one lane.
Well, I watched him throw 8 shots on lane 30. He came in high once and came in light 7 times. Didn't have any problem with lane 29. Lane 30 is lane Parker must figure out, and for Steve Jaros, he's got both of them figured out just to control his nerves right now.
Jaros a strike to start this match. So Parker only threw 1 shot on lane 29 in practice.
29 wasn't the problem. It's this lane right here, and you see what lane he's starting on? He's starting on lane 30 because he wants to throw as few shots as possible on this very difficult right-hand lane. See if he makes the right adjustment. That's just amazing. Watched him bowl for 5 minutes on that lane, never came close. Turn on the lights, and Parker, with 18 national titles, trying to make it 19, is right there.
A couple of top 24 finishes, 3 cashes in 5 events.
And using 1 ball for lane 29 and another for lane 30. Soft 7, great shot. Going straighter on the left-hand lane. Trying to hook the ball more on lane 30. The lane 30 has a little bit of a hang spot on it, and the only way that Parker can get around that hang spot is to go to a ball that's stronger and make the ball finish harder. And disappointing, 7-pin. Thought he might get out with a quick double. Good spare shooter, but he puts a little excitement into that one.
He won last week, Columbia 300 Open in Austin, trying to make it back-to-back wins. So last year, 6 TV appearances, won 4 times. Crowd has gotten behind Jaros after that electrifying 300 game.
There's a quick 10-pin lead. I know Jaros wants to get pretty excited right now, but long ways to go in this game. 8 frames. has to keep himself a little bit calm early, and there's plenty of time to get excited later.
Jaros. Third frame.
Fortunate just to leave the 7-pin. Knew the ball wasn't going to make the corner, not hook back all the way. He asked for it to hook back.
Let me ask you, Marshall, it looks like he's blowing in the finger holes or thumb hole?
Blowing in the thumb hole, gets a little warm air into the thumb. That helps to get a more secure grip on the ball so he doesn't drop it early. No problem making the spare. And we'll see if Parker can continue to strike on lane 30. Struck there in the opening frame, but boy, in practice, it looked like a really tough lane. And during the week, Parker was using a ball with a more tame cover stock because he didn't want the ball to hook a lot. I think he's changed on 30, going with something that'll race back towards that pocket. It gets there, but it's a 7-pin again.
Good shot by Bohn. Believes that stubborn 7-pin.
Simply the most beautiful style on our tour today. Parker Bohn III, that high backswing, that gorgeous perpendicular look at the foul line with the feet. Great balance. No problem with the 7-pin.
Well, he earned $191,000 last year. In fact, he's now earned at least $100,000 each of the last 7 years. He's 18 titles.
He's a bowling machine.
He's looking to make it to 11 now from that top spot.
Lane he had a good command on in practice is giving him a little bit of grief right now in the title match.
Parker led by 351 pins after qualifying after 18 games. And
that'll loosen you up, huh?
He said he had trouble concentrating a little bit because he was so far ahead.
Well, he led the field by more than 10 pins a game in actual wood, not counting bonus. Just the 10 pins a game better than the next best player in the field, which is something you don't see very often at all on Pro Bowlers Tour. Jaros with an 11-pin lead, looking to strike in the 4th frame.
So a 10-pin advantage for Jaros. And he won a couple of matches.
And he was pleased with the shot he threw on lane 30. Left a solid 10. Still looking very strong. Not putting Parker away early. And I know that, well, he'd like to get a great big lead early and coast his way in.
One good shot. Come on.
He has made a lot of great shots here this afternoon. Up now in the 5th frame. Again, Jaros up 10 over our tournament leader, Parker Bohn.
Similar shot to when he left the 7-10 in the last game. Ball's going down the lane longer and longer on lane 29 as he has to move in to make an adjustment. But the ball takes care of all the pins. Ball comes in a little bit light. He's happy to see him all fall over. And a great adjustment for Parker Bohn on lane 30. Now, okay, Parker, you got the lane that was giving you the trouble has now become your good lane as he asked Kurt Von Kruger, our tournament director, for a re-rack on 29. And he gets it.
Well, you know, Parker grew up, there's that reaction, oh yeah. Grew up in New Jersey. He said he owes a lot to a couple of people, including Dave Davis, Johnny Petraglia, and Mark Roth, that really helped him. You can't get much better than those guys.
Get those boys on your side, you're going to go somewhere. To tie the match with a strike on lane 29, and not a good shot, but a great break, and Parker's happy to have it.
Parker with a double.
UConn.
Fortunate to strike on his last shot in the 6th frame and puts a lot of pressure Right back on Steve Jaros, and you know, I've certainly said this before, but you know, the better you are, the luckier you generally are too. He just knew it. Great shot.
Off his hand, he knew it, and he is up now 10.
That's Parker Bohn's father and his grandmother watching today, and probably not too pleased with what Steve Jaros is doing right now. They want to see that man right there, Parker Bohn, throw some more strikes. For a 20-pin lead, way out on the lane, really stopped that ball out far, and it came back strong, leaving the 4-pin. Ball's just going to come in a little bit high. You'll watch the pin just go around. That's the head pin going around the 4-pin. Makes the spare. 9-pin lead against the very, very dangerous Parker Bohn III, who's got a lot of people rooting for him week in and week out, but especially this week, Phil. A lot of relatives here.
And you can see 1-3 in title matches in 99, 98, 15, and 9 in title matches. That's players winning from that top seed, so it's been a little bit difficult to do this year. Brings it back.
Boy, have we seen the 3 and the 9 very often on the left-hand side? That's the 4th one of those we've seen. A couple by Ricky Ward, one by Jason Couch, and now Parker Bohn leaves one in a shot where he had the opportunity to take the lead. Now he's down by 11 pins and still has a tough spare to make.
Picks it up. Parker Bohn, I asked him, he said, you know, it's just a thrill to win one title, and now he has his sights set on winning 20. Right now he has 18, and he hasn't won a major title.
That's I don't know, that's a quirk as far as I'm concerned. This man is so talented, has the physical ability and the great mental mind, the great ability to think his way through a tournament to go with it. That's what he looked like in practice on 29. Exciting title match. 9-pin advantage for Jaros. This is what Parker would like to continue to do. Put a few more together on lane 30, something like that on 29 again, and could be title number 19.
Brings it back. Oh, my. Jaros has lived in the pocket all afternoon long.
Come on.
Classic delivery of Steve Jaros. Really gets through the ball strong at the bottom of the swing. Lifts really, really hard up the back of the ball, producing mostly forward roll, just a little bit of side turn. That's what makes the ball hit back into the pocket. It's not a spinning motion, it's a lifting motion. With this strike right here, Jaros cannot be shut out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, now we're seeing some excitement from Jaros.
Well, he knows that now is the time that he can emote. It's the 9th frame. It's the title match. And this ball is coming back from right field. Here she comes. Strong ball. And the reaction of Steve Jaros, knowing he's got a chance. Come on, let's get this one done.
Parker Bohn up in the 9th.
Came in light last frame. Comes in light again, but oh my gosh, how many breaks could Parker Bohn get? It's just, he trips the 6 pin to get his only other double in the 6th frame, and now in the 9th frame he trips the 3 pin. He knows it's a bad shot. Oh my gosh, what did I do? You know, he's certainly not an in-your-face kind of bowler. This man is as much a gentleman as anybody who's ever bowled on our tour, and I know that on the one hand he's a little bit embarrassed and feels bad about that shot on the last frame, but he's taking it. Can he make 3 in a row out of it? Oh. Maybe is it destiny for Parker Bohn? Just a 1-pin lead for Jaros right now. This is the way he wants to see the ball roll into the pocket. 10 in the pit, and the great reaction from Parker Bohn.
He's pumping himself up. He roots for the other players.
Well, down 1 pin. Strike here, up by 11 pins. We'll watch. A little bit light.
Sparrow give him 225, and that means
Jaros would have to go
9 spare strike.
You're a good scorekeeper, Phil. I'm keeping you. That's a crucial mistake right there.
Parker.
I mean, that just makes
so mighty.
What otherwise was semi-difficult into just that much easier. If Parker Bohn loses this tournament by 1 pin, I mean, he just pulls that ball and he misses it, and you know, the reaction is, what the heck was I thinking? Jaros would love to strike here. That ball was left of his target, and it's a solid 7. Now, that looked like a terrible break, but that ball was so far left of his target, it held the pocket, comes in a little bit high, leaves the solid 7.
Still a chance for a tie.
He's up by 2 pins. If he makes this spare, I just don't see how he can lose. He hasn't missed the pocket, you know, the entire day. I just don't see Jaros getting any less than 9 pins, Phil.
Okay, 9, and he is a winner. Jaros will pick up his 3rd PBA championship, his first since '93.
You know, the only thing that could keep him from getting 9 pins right now are his own emotions and his own nerves. He's got a great shot to the pocket, especially on this right-hand lane where he can tug the ball, he can swing the ball. 9 pins to win.
Get back, get back, get back.
Oh, it did come back.
And I'll tell you what, June, Steve's wife, came right out of her chair. A big hug for Parker Bohn III. It's 3 titles for Steve Jaros.
And an extra 10 grand for the 300.
There's the hug. And how about that for a Valentine's Day present?
So the winner of the 1999 PBA Chattanooga Open. There he is, Steve Jaros. Hugs all around on this Valentine's Day. We'll talk to Steve coming up here in a minute. Has been brought to you by Ginkgoba. Sharpen your concentration with Ginkgoba, the natural supplement. Think better. Think Ginkgoba. And by Brunswick. Line up with the perfect lineup from Brunswick. And the winner of the PBA Chattanooga Open. What a great title match. Steve Jaros winning over Parker Bohn III, 226 to 224. Steve Jaros picks up his 3rd win. Now let's send it back up to my partner, Marshall Holman. Marsh?
All right, and now it's time for our Ginkgoba moment of concentration. And you talk about needing to concentrate. Well, Steve Jaros had 11 strikes in a row, and the only thing necessary right now is mentally being able to get the job done. There goes the ball out to the right. It comes back. He concentrates. He knows what he needed. He shoots 300. And a very, very happy Steve Jaros. And that's today's Ginkgoba moment of concentration. Think better. Think Ginkgoba. Back to you, Phil.
There's Steve Jaros, your winner. Melvin Jalilin, the general manager here at Holiday Bowl, has a beautiful trophy for you. And also Merrill Eckstein, who is president of the Greater Chattanooga Sports Authority and Events Committee, with a nice check.
Steve, congratulations. I think I should give that to the mother of the bee. She's the one who's going to need her, right?
Need a lot of diapers.
Congratulations, mother to be, I guess, because we got twins in there, and we're going to use that money for some diapers and formula. Steve, sensational. First of all, the 300 game, and then you had to regroup, didn't you?
Sure did. That was an unbelievable experience. It's something that I've never really been involved in, and it was really great that I could stay focused. And again, I mean, there were 2 great champions to try to get through, and I really had to remain focused, and it all went for the best.
Title match against Parker Bohn. Scintillating.
Unbelievable. It was kind of a little bit of a rematch after Japan. And, you know, Parker, you bowled great all week. It was unbelievable, the amount of the lead that he had.
Congratulations, Steve Jaros, your winner here in the 1999 Chattanooga Open. Be sure to join us when the PBA Tour returns to ESPN for the fall swing. All of the action gets underway Wednesday night, October 6th. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. And for more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.